Hi friends, in this session we are going discussing photosynthesis in higher plants. So it is one of the chapter in the plant physiology. It's very important. The NEET 2020 they get two questions from the photosynthesis chapters. It's very important, but it's very easy also because about the photosynthesis we are learned from the lower classes onwards. Yes. So in the lower classes onwards, we learn about the photosynthesis, nothing but manufacturing of the food material or organic compounds in the presence of sunlight, chlorophyll, by using water as well as carbon dioxide. It produces glucose, water, and releasing oxygen into the atmosphere. So everyone knows about the equation of the photosynthesis. 6CO2 plus 12H2O gives rise to the in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll gives glucose plus water and releasing oxygen into the atmosphere. Yes. So in this chapter we are going discussing about the introduction of the photosynthesis and then history of the photosynthesis. Under the history of the photosynthesis we are going discussing the role of the scientists in photosynthesis process. And then we are going discussing what are the raw materials involved in photosynthesis process like carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and chloroplast. Then we are going discussing about the pigments, photosynthetic pigments, photosystem, that is photosystem 1 and photosystem 2, and then photophosphorylation. Under the photophosphorylation we are going discussing about the cyclic photophosphorylation and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. And finally, we are going discussing about the mechanism of photosynthesis. Under the mechanism of photosynthesis, we are going discussing about the light reaction and dark reaction. Under the dark reaction or dark phases, we are going discussing about the C3 pathway, C4 pathway, and CAM cross-Lacey acid metabolism. Apart from this, we are going discussing about the photorespiration. It also called normally C2 cycle. And then we are going discussing about the law of limiting factor and what are the factors affecting the rate of photosynthesis. So it is outline of the photosynthesis. It's very easy only. Yes. So now let us start about the introduction of the photosynthesis. So very important introduction of photosynthesis. So when coming to the introduction of the photosynthesis, the first we should know the definition of the photosynthesis. The photosynthesis is a process in which synthesis of the food molecule takes place in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll by using simple molecule, that is carbon dioxide, water. In photosynthesis process, oxygen also releasing it into the atmosphere. Yes. So when coming to the photosynthesis, very important, photosynthesis is anabolic, very important, anabolic, is endergonic, yes, and oxidoreductive process, very important. So they'll ask in options, it is anabolic, endergonic, oxidoreductive process. Anabolic means small molecule form into large molecule. Endergonic means energy is required in this oxidation reduction process. Yes. So very important. Photosynthesis, nothing but manufacturing of food molecules, food or organic compounds, by using carbon dioxide, water, and with help of sunlight and chlorophyll pigments. So we will discuss detailed manner about the equation. So in the coming classes. So I told you those organisms, very important, those organisms carry the photosynthesis process. Very important. Those organisms carry photosynthesis process we called as phototropes or photoautotrophs. Very important. So example for the photoautotrophs. So that is green plants. Yes, green plants, very important. And most of the photosynthetic protista, yes, blue green algae, and some photosynthetic bacteria also carry photosynthesis process. So very important. Now come to the next point. Photosynthesis are two types, that is oxygenic photosynthetic organisms and oxygenic photosynthetic organisms. Photosynthesis organisms are two types, that is oxygenic photosynthetic organisms and anoxygenic photosynthetic organisms. So very important. So those organisms release oxygen during photosynthesis process, we call as oxygenic photosynthesis process. Very important. Those organisms release oxygen during photosynthesis process, we call as oxygenic photosynthetic organisms. Example for this one, green plants is blue-green algae, or it also called cyanobacteria. So very important in oxygenic photosynthesis process. Very important. Water act as a donor for releasing hydrogen, especially for the formation of NADPH2 molecule as well as ATP molecule. It also involved in evolution of the oxygen during photosynthesis process. So very important. Means in oxygenic photosynthesis, evolution of oxygen takes place. Evolution of oxygen takes place from water. Very important, from water, especially under photolysis process. We will discuss later about the photolysis. Now coming to the anoxygenic photosynthetic organism. That means those organisms does not release oxygen during photosynthesis, we call as anoxygenic photosynthetic organism. So example for this one, bacteria. So very important. No evolution of oxygen in anoxygenic photosynthesis. So because instead of water molecule, instead of H2O is hydrogen sulfide act as a hydrogen donor, and sulfur form as a waste product during anoxygenic photosynthetic organisms. So here you need to remember 2 points. Example for oxygenic photosynthesis organism and oxygenic photosynthesis organism. Now come to the next points, very important. So better note the point, this is very important. In atmosphere 11.2 into the 10 to the power of 14 tons of carbon dioxide is available for the plant to carry photosynthesis, out of which 11 into the 10 to the power of 13 tons of carbon dioxide is present at the rate of 0.03% in atmosphere to carry photosynthesis process. It's very important. Even for several hundred years, carbon dioxide not available does not affect the photosynthesis process. Yes. The next one is in ocean. In ocean, total amount of carbon dioxide, that is 11 into the 10 to the power of 14 tons of carbon dioxide is present in ocean. Next, very important, in lithosphere 2.8 into the 10 to the power of 18 tons of carbon dioxide is present. Carbon dioxide is present, but it is not, means 2.8 into 10 to the power of 18 tons of carbon. Present carbon, tons of carbon, better can remember, carbon is present in the lithosphere, but it's not employed or not utilized, employed in photosynthesis process. It's very important. It also linking about this topic, this point also linking with ecosystem chapter. Now come to the next point, very important. Very important, photoautotrophs fix annually 70 billion tons of carbon dioxide, fix annually 70 billion tons of carbon dioxide fix in photosynthesis process, in which very important, 170 billion tons of productivity or biomass or dry biomass or productivity takes place. Very important, out of 170 billion tons, as per the old estimation, as per as old estimation is, as per the old estimation, I told you 70 billion tons of biomass is formed from the 70 billion tons of carbon dioxide during photosynthesis process. Out of this, very important, 90% of productivity come from ocean. Only 10% of biomass or productivity come from land plant or terrestrial plants. Land plants or terrestrial plants. As per the new estimation, it's very important. As per the new estimation, it's very important. As per as new estimation, means 170 billion tons of biomass is formed from the 70 billion tons of carbon dioxide during photosynthesis. Out of this, very important, out of this 68% of the biomass derived from the land plants is only 32% of biomass derived from the ocean. So it's very important. So every year the plants during photosynthesis fix 70 billion tons of carbon dioxide. From out of 70 billion tons of carbon dioxide, they give biomass of productivity, that is 170 billion tons. So as per the old estimation, out of 70 billion tons of the tons of the biomass or productivity, 90% of biomass derived from the ocean, only 10% derived from the land plant. As per the new estimation, means 70 billion tons of carbon dioxide, 70 billion tons of carbon dioxide gives 170 billion tons of the biomass, out of which 68% of biomass derived from the land plant and only 32% of biomass derived from the ocean. So it's very, very important. Now come to the next point, the importance of photosynthesis. Importance of photosynthesis. So normally, you know very well, autotrophs, also called producers, yes. Heterotrophs, you know very well, heterotroph means they cannot prepare their own food molecules and depending on the other organism, we called as heterotrophs, called as consumers. So you can take heterotroph example, animals, yes. So very important. Next one, importance of photosynthesis. Importance of photosynthesis. So when coming to the important, it is a natural process. In phototrophs. Very important, and it is unique. In phototrophs. So very important, it converts photons process, converts solar energy into chemical energy. Convert solar energy into chemical energy in photosynthesis process. Means phototrophs convert the solar energy into chemical energy. That chemical energy stored in the form of organic compounds. And very important, they also provide food to the consumers or heterotrophs. And very important, there is only one method to add oxygen into the atmosphere. Only known method add oxygen into the atmosphere. So very important, means photosynthesis process is the only known method to add oxygen into the atmosphere. And you know very well, oxygen is essential for the respiration of the organism and breakdown of the food molecule, burning of the organic compounds or burning of the wood material. For this whole process also oxygen is essential. This oxygen will be derived from the photosynthesis process. Oxygen is also essential formation of the ozone layer in the stratosphere. You know very well, the stratosphere, in stratosphere, ozone layer protect the earth from the harmful radiation. Yes, so it is about the importance of photosynthesis. So now we are going discussing about the history of the photosynthesis. So very important. Now come to the second one. History of photosynthesis. It's very important for us. History of photosynthesis. So when coming to history of the photosynthesis, very important. The first one, Stephen Hales explain important role of sunlight, air, green leaves for the nourishment of plants. It's very important. Next, second one, Joseph Priestley, very important. Joseph Priestley is especially in the year of 1770 and 1804. Means especially in the year of 1770, Joseph Priestley carry mint experiment, very important, mint experiment. Yes, so very important. Mint experiment explain to us the plants purify the air and animals and burning candle impure the air. So Joseph Priestley done small experiment to explain about the something exchanging between the atmosphere as well as animals and plants. So in mint experiment, very important. In mint experiment, he was use mint to plant, burning candle, bell jar, as well as mouse or mice. So now we'll see the experiment. Yes. So when you come into the mint experiment, it's very important for us. So mint experiment is very important for us. Now see here. So he was in the first experiment. In the experiment 1. So he was taken one bell jar. Am I right? He was taken one bell jar. So under the bell jar, in the first experiment, he was taken one bell jar. Under the bell jar, he placed burning candle as well as mice. Yes. So when he was placed under the bell jar, burning candle and mice, after few minutes, the burning candle was put off and mice was died. In the experiment 2, in the second experiment,